Okay, Maisy. So this is your essay on the supernatural. So Dickens uses the theme of the supernatural to convey to the Victorian reader, so nice awareness of context there, that there are consequences, just watch your spelling, consequences, to living a selfish and, oh, that's a bit tenuous, purposeless. Not sure what Scrooge would say that his life was purposeless. It's driven by money, but it's not necessarily without purpose. Perhaps change it to something like morally redundant to convey that actually that was what was missing in Scrooge's life, that sense of morality. Okay, right, I don't know what's happened here. So particular, and then we add ly to the end of it. So particularly clear. This idea is particularly clear in the phrase. It's a little bit clunky. I wonder if we could switch this to in the description whereby his body was transparent. Okay. Right, so that's a complete clause, so we need to box that off with a full stop. Here Dickens uses the description of Marley. Could we have Marley's ghost rather than just Marley? To crystallise, nice use of Tegan's verb there, to crystallise his idea that there are, again that spelling of consequences, to living a selfish and, yeah, you know I'm going to debate that, and purposeless life. The adjective transparent, connote, no, right, so we can't have connotes as. When you're using connotes, try to replace it with suggests in your head, just to check that it's you've kind of written it the right way. So the adjective transparent suggests as being see-through. It doesn't make sense, does it? So connotes being see-through. Be really careful. It doesn't connote being see-through. It's literally what it means. So the adjective transparent means being see-through. It connotes vulnerability. Okay, so kind of section those two off. Just check your spelling again. Vulnerable. Therefore implying maybe Marley is emotional. Really? If you're vulnerable, do you become emotionless? I don't think so. I think you really need to rethink this. I feel like your ideas got quite muddled. It was really valid up until this point, the sort of vulnerability of being transparent, that idea that we can see through to the very heart of him now, we can really see him for what he is. That idea that kind of death has stripped away all of the external stuff and left his real raw self. I think that's really powerful. But then it becomes lost here, this idea that Marley's emotionless, has no remorse. So I think that is, I'm going to say that's tenuous. I might even go even further and say it's actually wrong. So just relook at that. Furthermore, oh, Maisy, what's going on there? Perhaps Dickens that's not an apostrophe, I'm sure it's not. Furthermore, perhaps Dickens describes Marley as transparent to show his Victorian readers that living as, you can't live as avarice. Avarice means greed. So living avariciously, so just need to reword that, can lead you to living as transparent. Well, right, so hang on, this is flawed firstly because Marley's not living, he's dead. I'm struggling to see what your point is there. I think what you're perhaps trying to say is that death has stripped everything away from Marley, and all he's got now is the kind of shallow soul, the shallow kind of empty soul that he had through life because all he focused on was money. I think that's perhaps what you need to say there. That's got really muddled. Okay, furthermore, Dickens uses a long list of nouns to show the weight of your sin if you choose to live a purposeless and get rid of purposeless and selfish life. Sorry, that way you can see it. Okay, the nouns cash box, yeah, that's valid. Keys, padlocks, ledgers have connotations of money. I'm not sure they have connotations of money because they're too closely linked to it to have connotations. That's like saying the word rose has connotations of flowers. It doesn't have a connotation of flowers, it is a flower. So I think, sorry, my children are messing up there, I can hear them cackling. I think what you need to be saying is cash boxes, padlocks, ledgers, they're all related to the theme of money, or they all kind of evoke the theme of money, something like that. as well as a common link to metal. Yet, if that goes somewhere, that'll be a really good point. Perhaps Dickens. What is going on with this? PH makes the f sound, so what you're saying there is ferraps. That's not what you mean. You mean perhaps. Perhaps Dickens uses links to metal to show the Victorian. Oh right, you're talking about his readers again. So we can't use show. Can we go with something like highlight? And he's addressing them, so highlight to his Victorian readership, perhaps. That selfishness and poverty. Okay, sorry, I'll keep going. I'm not sure where you're going with this because Marley's obviously, he wasn't poor, was he? Selfishness and poverty in life is lead on by a structural phenomenon. Yeah, definitely some spelling checking needs to go on there. Such as the economic structure instead. Right, Maisy, you got yourself really tangled up here. Right, what I want you to do with this bit is I want you to kind of write a sentence out where you explain that as if you're explaining it to a 6-year-old. So it's really, really simple. And then once you've done that, then we can start building in this idea of structural poverty as opposed to individual poverty and this kind of idea of the diversity of society, because I think you've just got really lost in that. However, there's cash boxes. Stop this. We need an apostrophe when it's either key is, so it's squished together, or whether it's possession, so the key owns something. So the keys, I don't know what key would own. The dog's bowl, the cat's water. Okay, so however, there's cash boxes, keys and padlocks linked to financials. Don't think you needed to say that. You probably could have just said money. Just check your spelling. Which create an a birth and a. I don't know what that means. Purposeless life. Therefore, Dickens conveys to his audience how living like Marley, who is now weighed by his sins. Now that's the bit there that you needed to develop. That's the bit that you should have. Oops, God, sorry. Getting all overexcited. Looking at all these excellent analyses. This is the bit, sorry, that you needed to develop this idea that he's weighed down by his poor choices in life. Leads you to a painful and I don't know what that is. Sorry, just relook at that. I'm not sure what that word means in general. Okay, your main issue here with this essay, or this mini essay, is I don't think you're clear enough on what your point is, on what your stance is. I think you're trying to say something about Marley being used as a symbol of how badly things can go. Sorry, my kids are wrestling. I don't know if you can hear them. Hang on a sec. Boys! Oh, my life. Right, I'll go up and see what they're doing in a sec. Yeah, sorry, Maisy. What you need to do is you need to make your argument about Marley, whatever your point is, you need to make it really, really simple, because at the moment it's got so tangled up in your expression that I can't quite work out what you're telling me. Okay, you've almost tried to overcomplicate it. Alright, and I've just noticed, can we get rid of audience and say reader instead? Okay, so good start, but definitely lots to be doing there, please.